a lot of pressure here at Eat Science. Everyone's staring at us, and this is our opportunity to find out who's in the lab. And obviously, there are students in the lab, and we're with some of them today. And this is our chance to get to know what you guys are up to. So we have physiology on this side. Actually, I'm an alum, so I belong on this side. This is natural. Bias on this side. Tell us what your name is and what you do every day.
So my name is Amanda, and I'm a master's student in physiology. And our lab is studying some very important stem cells that actually exist in all of our bone marrow. And these stem cells, as they mature and divide, they can produce all of the blood cells in your body. And what we're doing is really trying to understand how that process works. Because when something goes wrong with that process, that's how you get all kinds of blood disorders and different kind of, dysregulations. So that's why it's really important to understand how it works.
So I saw you earlier with the chef, and the chef put you on the spot and wanted to know about the reaction of, there was mushroom, chips and Parmesan chips, and your answer was like spot on. Like you were like the host of a food show. Tell us about, first of all, how did you come up with that answer so smoothly? And tell us about how cool it is that we're linking what you just said about your research and this really great dish that the chef put together for us.
Well, I think in our lab, what we're really looking in these cells really closely on a molecular level, and that's really trying to understand what are the different genes involved, what are the different molecular workers that are involved in regulating those genes. And it's really trying to understand how everything is coming together and forming a complete picture that we can make sense of. And I think that's what I was trying to get at with the dish that we had tried before, which was just these different ingredients that exist on their own and can be enjoyed on their own. But when they're put together, it really comes together as something that is unique, and it has a whole new feel to it when you're eating all of that together. So I think Eat Science is really a great place for collaboration and just bringing everyone all together.
Will you ever look at mushrooms the same way?
I'll look at them in a new light now.
Exactly. It should change your perspective on mushrooms. How about you? We'll finish with physiology. Tell us about what you do in the lab, and how is the mushroom?
Oh, okay. So I'm a PhD student. I'm doing my second year, and I work with electrosensory system. So what I study is I'm trying to understand how the neurons tell the brain, oh, there's an object, there's a fish. So it's basically understanding the neural code. And about the mushroom, I'm not gonna see mushroom ever again the same way.
All right, so we'll see, Phil, if we'll see what your take is on the Parmesan chips. We'll ask you about that next. And Monsieur, you got the chance to meet the chef one-on-one in his office.
Lucky me.
And tell us a little bit about your involvement, in McGill, and how cool is Eat Science?
Eat Science is really cool. It's a nice restaurant. It's great people, and I would say it's a great cause too. And about my job a bit, all I can say is it's the best job in the world. I get to actually challenge the nastiest disease ever, cancer, with my intellect. And I do that every day of my life, surrounded with the smartest, some of the young people, the smartest people that there is in the best university in Canada. So I think I'm pretty lucky, but I can say that there's the purpose comes with the nature of the beast, really, cancer. I think everyone's been touched by this disease, and everyone's dedicated and ready to fight. And one thing that is, I think a lot of people underestimate is how complex this disease is. With genomics, with metabolomics, with epigenetics in recent years, we realized that this was not one disease, but a multitude of. And the answer to curing any of those actually will come stepwise with drugs that are specific to each of the subtypes. So what I'm trying to do is try to understand the logics underneath the gene networks of cancers. I use the plural because they're multiple. So, but I do that, like I said, surrounded with a lot of talent and a really excellent environment.
So, I mean, obviously there's so much, when you talk about it, there's so much passion, there's so much compassion, and you obviously, you're lucky to have a great team. But for me, it's amazing that you can tell that story all because of a couple of dishes of food prepared by an amazing chef. What did you try here at Eat Science, and how was it?
I'm still reading from the shock of that candied beef. It's insane. Really. And so there's a part in your mouth, and everybody's invited. But all I can tell you is that Eat Science is a great opportunity, and humans we gather around food. We've done that for millions of years, hundreds of thousands of years, and I would say Eat Science, I think the way I interpret it is actually we want to bring people thinking differently to the table. Not only the scientific, the academic way, but people that innovate, that invent new technologies, people that actually are really good at mobilizing, at connecting people also. And that's how I see Eat Science as important to really bring together thinking differently.
Amazing.
For cancer, but also for other topics.
That's amazing, and that really you are literally at the head of the table to transition to this side. Tell us about what you do every day in the lab.
Sure. So my name is Tina Grosso. I'm a postdoctoral fellow at the Cancer Center at McGill, the Goodman Cancer Center, and I work on tumor microenvironment. So the tumor microenvironment is really everything that surrounds the tumor that helps the tumor grow. So we usually refer to this as the seed and soil theory. Like the seed cannot grow from a seed to a plant without the soil. Sure. That's exactly it. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to starve the tumor, to target the supplies of the tumor to fight the disease. And why I think that Eat Science is a great place to be is I think that it's a great science communication and community engagement opportunity. It's great because I think as researchers we need to give back to society, and I think this is a great way for us to expose and communicate our science.
Amazing, and you just communicated that perfectly. And you're also from Paris.
Exactly.
And so you obviously have an appreciation for good food. And you had amazing
I cannot hide that.
You had
She's also part Italian. So.
Oh, part Italian also to boot. So tell us about what you tasted today.
Yes.
And how that made you think about what you do in life in research.
So I think, as I was saying, like the tumor microenvironment is sort of everything that surrounds the tumor, and it's unbelievable how far the tumor can go in sort of hijacking the human body to supply its own growth. And I think, as it's been said by some of my colleagues, when you touch on gastronomy, you touch on individual elements. Then when they're brought together, creates an harmony. And I think this is sort of how it relates to the complexity of the cancer disease in a way, is that if you look at the elements individually, they mean something. But once you bring them together, then it's a whole extra level of complexity.
And what was the dish that brought it all together for you?
So it's the sweet potato chips that I got with the mayonnaise with the charcoal. I didn't even know that was possible, but that's great. And salmon. And I think all together, sort of the texture mix was something that I've never tried before.
And so will you ever eat charcoal the same way again?
I'll never use charcoal the same way, for sure.
Excellent. Thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you.
So how about you? Tell me about what you do on a daily basis and how you connect with being here.
Okay, so my name is Brian, and I'm a graduate student in Dr. Siegel's lab, and we focus mainly on breast cancer metastasis. So this is how cancer travels to different sites. And what I look at is similar to what Tina mentioned earlier, the tumor microenvironment. So I look at one key player in the tumor microenvironment, so the neutrophil. It's a cell type that's been known to fight off infection. So say you have a cut, you have a wound, these are the cell types that are the first ones there to fight off the infection. And what's been known in the past 5 to 10 years is that these cell types, they can actually help or fight tumor. So this is the basis of my project, and this is what I'm studying right now.
So when you ate the dish that was prepared for you guys, did you say, that's a great neutrophil? Did it remind you? Is that what happens when researchers eat food? They're reminded of all the molecular goodness?
The complexity.
All the complexity.
The complexity, right?
What was the dish that did it for you?
It was the same dish. It was the sweet potato with the charcoal, and it was amazing.
So you're obviously a very intelligent man. When you eat this dish, what goes through your mind?
So not only do I think about, you know, the amazing flavors that go through my palate, but also, you know, the individual elements of each food and how they represent the tumor microenvironment, for example, and each piece coming together.
And I think
I love it.
when we eat like the dish as complex as it can be, like I'm not always able to identify the elements.
Yes.
And this is what we're trying to figure out with the research. Like you have something complex, and I'll try to dissect
Excellent, excellent. I love that. Great answers. Thank you very much. So that's you and me head to head.
All right.
Tell me what you do on a daily basis.
So my name is Mcgurk. I'm a PhD student with Julie St. Pierre at the Goodman Cancer Research Center. So I kind of doesn't matter what I get here because I actually work on metabolism.
Okay.
So everything kind of fits the theme. So I work on the intersection of cancer and metabolism.
Okay.
So how cancers metabolize nutrients differently than normal cells.
Okay.
And how a cancer that's in a solid tumor versus a cancer that's metastasizing or a cancer that's resistant to therapy, how that can actually change how it metabolizes things.
Amazing.
We're trying to target that to try to find new ways of helping patients that have cancers that don't respond to therapies that exist now.
So you saw all the dishes this evening, and you
Yes.
had the chance to taste some of them, and even drink some of them.
I had the chance to eat the same ones as my colleagues
Sure.
here. We're sitting at the same table. But I also had this great wine, which pairs extremely well.
Fantastic.
But I will say, I echo the comment of the fact that once it's very complex, it's kind of hard to then go back and see what individual components make up the dish.
Correct.
And what I use on a daily basis is a mass spectrometer. So we try to look really like individual molecules and what's happening in a different context. So we're looking at this really one of the smallest possible levels to try to solve this disease that is cancer.
Amazing.
So this kind of all brings it together.
As somebody who studies metabolism, could you maybe explain to all of us how it's possible to metabolize charcoal?
Oh boy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it is. I think it might just go straight through it. It might just
Okay, very good.
I think it might help you digest to some extent.
We'll keep it at that. Excellent.
I'm not sure how far that goes.
We don't metabolize.
Guys, on that note, thanks for chiming in, and bon appetit. And well, this is your chance to try all of these dishes and meet all of you guys, because you guys are going to be with us.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be with us at this table. So
Yeah.
come and meet everyone that's at this table, and I look forward to seeing you at Eat Science.
Eat Science!